What's going on again, YouTube? Bringing you basically an update video of the CRV. Now, I got a header, full exhaust, and a snorkel kit for it, and I did film everything, the installs and everything, but unfortunate for me, again, something with my software mixed with a frame rate that I was recording in, something like that. I don't know, it's just not working, and so I have to film again, which obviously to do the install again is not an option. So this is the best that I can do, and this is what I'm going to bring to you. So I basically want to give you a little breakdown on the header and exhaust just for this video, and I'll kind of go as much as I can in depth, in detail of what it took to get this header on here, and basically going to show you that it was not easy, and you really got to pay attention to the pictures that they post online that show these parts installed on the vehicles. You really got to pay close attention to those pictures, and I'm going to show you why. So now, not knocking the company or anything. Oh, hold on a second here. Now, what I decided to go with was a 1320, you kind of see it there, a 1320 ramhorn header. This one comes down to, all four comes down to one, and it's got a V-band, and it's just one pipe going all the way back, the down pipe. Which, you know, it's a pretty cool, it's a pretty nice two-piece design, you know, to fit your stock B20N CRV. So that's what I went with. Like I said, the 1320 ramhorn header, and I decided to go with the Yonaka full catback exhaust. Yeah, it's a little dirty right now. Yeah, you can kind of see the logo a little bit there, whatever, but yeah, you can see it tucks in there quite nice. This is the 2.5-inch piping kit. Let's see. So you can see the collector there. The header does come with the let's see, it's a I think it's a 3 or 4 piece test pipe, so you can put that together, and you don't have to worry about running a cat or anything like that. But I will say it is my first time ever using that particular style of test pipe, so I was not aware, I did not understand that how these things you just slide them together and they don't leak. I didn't figure that was how that worked, because once I fired it up, it leaked. So I had to put 3 clamps on it to, you know, seal it up. But I didn't know that. You know, I've never used that before, or well, a test pipe like that. I've always had one made or made it myself. So, but it seems to be holding up pretty good. Don't seem to do too bad. Now, what I did was, you know, obviously the plan for that day was to install the header, install the exhaust, and basically show you the ins and outs of the installation of everything. From the collector, well, basically the test pipe all the way back was perfectly fine. There was no issues whatsoever at all. Nothing with the exhaust. Let me tell you about the header though. Before I even say anything, I'm sure a lot of you watching this video notice something wrong here, and that something is the factory radiator fans. You got your one for your AC here, and then you got your regular cooling fan there. Well, to run this header, you cannot run radiator fans. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand. Even, you know, that's why I say you got to pay attention to the pictures that they post online for these parts, saying that they're installed in the vehicles, because of course I saw the pictures just the same as anyone else that's probably bought this header. Saw the pictures, and who pays attention to whether or not there's fans on the radiator in that picture? And sure enough, there's no fans on that radiator. Of course it fits without the fans on it, but you know, you got to have a fan on your radiator, at least one, right? So it's like, what do you do? I mean, do I run radiator fans or do I put this header on? Well, obviously, you know, spent the money on the header, which they gave me a really decent deal. So, you know, it wasn't like I'm out of a lot of money, even if I didn't use it. So I did the next best thing, and I went down to the parts store and got the exact same electric fan. You can see a little torque flow or whatever. It is a 12-inch electric fan. But this is the exact same one that I ran in my Civic with the H22 build. Well, ever since I had the car for 9 years. And I just cut the factory clip off of the factory fan and wired it in there. I know it looks like crap. I need to do some heat shrink on it instead of, you know, the tape or whatever. But yeah, the wires are soldered. It's just I need to get some heat shrink. And, you know, it works perfectly fine. It actually works, you know, it works great. You know, it kicks on when it needs to and whatever. So really, that is honestly the worst part about this particular header. I mean, yeah, it's kind of wild looking and it's kind of fancy looking. It's really too fancy for my particular setup, because I mean, I take it out to get it dirty, get it muddy and whatever, and you know, it's a little too fancy for this. But like I said, for the deal and the fact that it was a two-piece, you know, which means, you know, less things that you have to tear apart to get the header in there. You know, we've all been through that. But little do I know, of course, you know, you can't run the radiator fans. And of course, with me trying to get the factory fan over there, you could see all the dents in the radiator there. And of course, there's more down there, and there's even more in behind the fan, of course. You know, it was absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. And yeah, but how does the header and exhaust perform? Well, it performs pretty well. You know, I don't run this thing hard. I literally 4,000 RPMs, and that's pretty much it. You know, I'll pull a hill in 4th gear, 4,000 RPM, and you know, it goes up perfectly fine. Will it pull a hill in 5th gears with new header and exhaust? No, it didn't do it before. It ain't gonna do it now. You know, it still ain't got no power, but you know, they say upwards of 15 horsepower just from the header alone. I have no idea. I honestly, you know, and this is an honest to goodness, true review, I guess, on the mixture of this header with that particular exhaust. I felt no difference. Absolutely no difference. Other than, you know, it looks much better. You know, obviously the exhaust is flowing a whole lot better. And of course, I know everybody wants to hear how it sounds. I do have a clip of the exhaust with the factory stuff on, and I have a clip of the exhaust with this on right after I put it on. So I will have those two clips at the end of this video. So stick around, and you want to hear what this sounds like. Which it has a nice deep, kind of deeper tone to it, which is kind of nice, which is what I wanted. I did not want the bean can, raspy, ricer, you know, fart can Honda sound whatsoever. And guess what I got? About 3 separate times through the RPM range, all the way up to 6,000 RPM, it's got that bean can, ricer, raspy, ridiculous, the most idiotic, dumb sound I've ever heard come out of the back of a Honda. Is exactly what that thing does, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I hate that sound. I've never liked that sound in a Honda. I've always thought, you know, that just, you know, sometimes when you see some of the younger generation running around and they just bolt on a fart can, and that's what they're going with, and that's just what it sounds like. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking anybody that runs that or whatever. You may like the sound. I personally hate the sound. I hate that raspy part. But other than that, when it's just a deep rumble and kind of quiet, that's what I was looking for in this. Because I mean, well, you don't need that loud sound out of the CRV. So, but I know once you guys hear the sound clip, I know the majority of people is going to like it, because this is like the most popular exhaust for the CRV, and everybody seems to love the exhaust. They love the way it sounds, and that's cool and all. I mean, you like what you like, right? So, I mean, it looks good on there, and it's much better than what I had, so I'll deal with it. It is what it is. But one of the things that I was going to do, I wanted to run the 1320 header and match it with the 1320 exhaust. And of course, I looked into that, of course. But the apparently that exhaust was back ordered like ridiculously crazy, and probably not available until mid-fall, something like that. Like, I'm doing this now. I'm not going to, you know, I can't wait that long. And I say I'm doing this now is because when I bought this thing about 1.5 years ago, I put all factory exhaust on it, brand spanking new. Well, that stuff is completely rusted out. It just completely went to crap. That's the reason why I decided to change all this. And I had over $100 more in that factory crap than it cost me for the full exhaust kit on this thing. So and it was all under warranty. So I was actually able to take all the old stuff, return it, take that money and pay for that exhaust. And I still had money left in my pocket afterwards. So it worked out really good for me. So that was definitely a reason why I did that. And, you know, I put out a little bit from my tax money to get the header. And like I said, I'm not really going to throw the numbers there because, you know, they really did give me a good deal. And I really, you know, I'd hate for everybody to be hitting up 1320. Oh, yeah, I saw this video. You gave it to him for this. And, you know, you sell me one like that. You know, I don't want to, you know, nobody needs to lose any money here. So I'm not really going to throw out the numbers there. But it was a pretty decent, it was a real decent deal. But I will say you can check out their eBay store. They do put a lot of nice deals on the eBay store, like the motor mounts that I have. If you remember my previous video where I did the install of the motor mounts, this motor mount, actually you can probably see it. You can see the scratches on top of that motor mount. That right there is the reason why I got that kit for as cheap as I did. Is because you know, it was on their eBay site, and it was a blemish deal. So you can find deals like that on their eBay page. But yeah, that's pretty much going to wrap it up. I mean, so overall, when it comes to, I guess you would say performance, I really don't feel anything from it. I'm going to say per se, I guess in this video, I don't feel anything from the exhaust, as performance-wise or whatever. Of course, I can tell that the engine is breathing, it's exhaling a lot better. And as far as my rating when it comes to the install of the header, I give it a total thumbs down, simply because of the fact that, you know, you shouldn't have to choose whether to run radiator fans or a header. I mean, this, you know, like I said, they gave me a great deal, but it's a thumbs down on that part. As far as looks, build quality, that thing is solid, and it's got a lot of weight to it. Like, they really they do nice building these things. Like, the header is definitely built really nice. And of course, with having the V-band down there on the downpipe, it's going to be nice for, I do need an oil pan gasket. All I got to do is simply, you know, take the V-band clamp off of there and the 2 bolts at the collector, drop the bottom part off there, and I don't have to take the whole header off to put an oil pan gasket on it, which is coming soon. So I do like that. That, you know, that's also a selling point to this thing. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. That's gonna wrap up this video. I hope this answered a few questions. I hope this didn't deter anyone from running this. It just know, if you get the 1320 ramhorn header for the B20 for your CRV or whatever, you are going to have to get electric fans. I'm working on trying to get another one, of course. I'm going to put another one here for the AC or whatever, but that is really the downside to that. So I went through the trouble so you don't have to, basically. So, And then that's as simple as that. I mean, the install, it goes perfectly fine. I mean, it's, you know, that's really the only trouble that I had. And the Yonaka exhaust, it looks good. You know, it sounds okay at most RPMs. So that's going to wrap up my video. I hope this helped. And I guess we'll see you guys in the next update video.